Well, hello everyone. I thought I'd invite you along today to experience something with me. I used to be a part of a hobby group, and I haven't actually hung out with them in over a year because, well, funds dried up and hobbies are expensive. But I got a text from the old leader saying that they're having a meetup today. And so I thought I'd take you along. I'd like to go hang out with those guys again. It's been a long time. Now, it's the hobby in question is remote-controlled drifting. That's right, we do 10-scale electric drift cars. It was actually a lot of fun, but it got kind of spendy. I guess no more spendy than any other hobby, but it was fun, and it took up a lot of my time. And I just don't have the time to spare. Today, well, I don't really have time to spare, if I'm honest. I've got a whole bunch of projects that are due. But damn it all, I need some me time. So I'm going to take a half hour, hang out with the guys, show you some of those drift cars. They're adorable and they're a lot of fun.
These guys are running full-on rear drive systems. This chassis is not all-wheel drive, it's straight rear-wheel drive.
So back when I joined that club, generally speaking, everybody was running 50-50 chassis, meaning it was all-wheel drive, it was symmetric all-wheel drive. All four wheels spun at the same rate. And then, just as I was getting out of that, just about at the end, just as I'm getting out of the club, that's when Countersteer started coming in, which are not rear-wheel drive chassis, but they're overdriven rear, meaning they're still four-wheel drive, but the rear tires spin a little bit faster than the front tires. And the chassis I was working with was the Losi XXX, and it was belt-driven, and it was damn near impossible to change the rate a whole lot. I was able to change it, like 2 teeth up front and 2 teeth in the rear on my gear setup because it was belt driven, and still use the same belt. And so that gave me, like, I don't know, I want to say it was 6% overdrive, which was alright, but a lot of the Countersteer people were doing 100% overdrive. And when that happens, you get more steering lock, and it looks more like you're actually drifting. Like in real cars. And I thought that was pretty much the way it was going to go. I know some people, did like 200% rear drive, overdrive in the rear. A lot of people were just at 100%. Some Some are, you know, around 67% over. But the more overdriven it is in the rear, the harder it is to control. But the more lock you get to make it look more realistic. Now, apparently, people are actually going straight up rear drive. Quite a lot of them, as a matter of fact. However, now they are gyroscopically stabilized. There's a little gyro meter, and when the gyro reaches a certain point, it automatically countersteers the wheels to the proper location. Now, the setting on that can be adjusted to be more or less intrusive, and your steering input on the radio, on the controller itself, can override it. But back in the 50/50 days, they still had that. They had that technology, the gyro stabilization. But we really looked down upon it. Everybody did. It's like, no, that's bullshit. That's cheating. However, with rear drive, it's impossible to do anything. All you do is go in circles and spin out and flip around if you didn't have that gyro stabilizer. But it also kind of makes sense a little bit. It does make it kind of realistic. Even though, you know, you've got this electronic control. In a real car, you've got a lot of internal mass preventing the car from just immediately going backwards. In those 10 scale, you know, in the 10 scale RC cars, you don't have that. So you'll see it in videos, you know, people will initiate a drift and then they'll sort of let go of the steering wheel and let the caster sort it out and stop it at the proper time. Well, that's kind of what the gyro stabilizer is doing. And so it's no longer banned from competition like it was back in the 50/50 and CS days. CS is countersteer, the all-wheel drive with the rear slightly overdriven. I really want to get into it. Apparently you can buy a great rolling chassis with everything you need, you know, minus electronics. You need to provide your own electronics. But everything you need to get into rear drive, and buy the whole thing from Hong Kong, $250 shipped. That's very tempting. But if I do that, man, I need a new radio, because everybody's got these digital radios, and which are great because you can adjust fucking everything, you know, on the fly. And you never have to worry about, you know, losing signal, because that happens fairly regularly with the FM radio. So if I want to get back into it, I think realistically I've got to look at dropping $700. You know, $250 for the chassis, maybe $300 for the radio, probably another $150 to $200 on LiPo. Because I was using NiCad cells, batteries, and those just died too quickly. 3-hour charge will last you 15 minutes. LiPo, 3-hour charge will last you 45 minutes. And also with NiCad cells, you know, the voltage drops slowly, so it's like you're going, and it doesn't work as well as it used to. With LiPo, you get the same output, and then there's a shut-off to make sure that you don't drain the battery too hard. Alright, maybe I should sign off on one of these. So, this is Rob signing off.